to say, the more I look into these anime characters that are taking YouTube and Twitch by storm, the more funny it gets. Because there are some people with rotten personalities, like really bad character, and they're getting their comeuppance. They are exposing themselves for what they truly are, and it is just absolutely beautiful to see them implode. So, if you don't really remember what Twitch used to be like, I'll give you the download because I'm an elderly person and I seem to know the history of that platform. When Twitch first came out, it was a gaming platform. I remember there was a friend of mine which wanted to talk about Gamergate, and he wasn't allowed. The Twitch moderators told him, no, you have to play a game. Like, if you want to be on this platform and you want to talk about things, you have to play a video game. Because that's what Twitch was about. So, that's how it started. People couldn't make money off of it, and you had to play video games. And as you can imagine, it was a very competitive environment. Like, everyone plays video games. So, recording yourself while doing it, you had to bring something there in order to convince people to watch you. And it was pretty much like people that would use their strength of character, their personality, because they were hilarious and very funny in order to make an audience. Or it was people that were so good at the game that they were taking it to a professional level. And they were creating an audience because people wanted to learn how to play the game. But this is, I think, like 2015, 2016, the era of the e-girl, where ladies that had big tits would come up on Twitch and they would create massive number of following just by showing cleavage, just by, you know, showing a little bit of skin. And a lot of the guys that worked for years in order to build up an audience, or they were trying really hard in order to entertain people, were getting upset because they viewed it as unfair. They viewed it as like, well, you're not really doing anything. Like, you're just a girl with big boobs, and you're gaining so many subscribers, and you're taking away subscribers from me. Now, I don't see a problem with it. I think it's capitalism. You know, the product that a buxom lady has to offer on the street is much different than the product a gamer guy has to offer. So, I didn't see a problem with it. But the mainstream media, well, the gaming journalist press, they saw a major problem with it. They sided with the e-girls, and they were kissing ass, and they were defending the e-girls, and they were saying, oh, look, all of these men are toxic and misogynistic and sexist because they don't let women like that. The women just want a game, you know, they're gamer girls. They're gamer girls, and it's like they just want to be there to play video games. And they would ignore the fact that some of these gamer girls, they had like a little tiny screen with the gameplay in the right corner. And then on the main event, the main event, the main menu, the main course was right in the middle. You know, and it's like, oh, they just happen to dress this way. This is how women dress. But the webcam would be positioned in such a way that the angle would fall down on the boobies, right? So these women knew what they were doing. These women were definitely the type of people that were using feminism in a way to shut down any type of competition or any type of debate about the fact that what they're doing is using their sexuality in order to attract subscribers. And it's something I really never understood why. I mean, if I was a gamer girl, I would be like, no, people like my tits, so yeah, I'm going to use it in order to advertise and get people to watch. But the reason they didn't do that was that, number one, Twitch was advertising itself as being a family-friendly company. So they wanted little Billy to watch, but they didn't want little Billy's mother to know that little Billy is now buying bits with her credit card in order to give to his favorite e-girl, right? They didn't want that controversy coming up. And number two, it was like, because of feminism, the idea of sexualizing and treating a woman like a sex object is wrong. So if a female character like Alinity is in a video game, oh, that's horrible. Like, look at these misogynistic developers. If a female video gamer like Zombie Unicorn is at a booth in E3 in order to try to sell a product, oh no, that's horrible. That's the patriarchy exploiting women and sexuality. But if Zombie Unicorn herself wants to show some boobies on camera, that's perfectly fine. That is empowering. That is, this mental disconnect that I really didn't like. So, you now have these e-girls that are being defended by the gaming journalist press. Like, almost anything they do is kissing their ass. Like, for example, there was this famous e-girl. Turns out she's got a boyfriend. Turns out her pay pig is running away, and no one is there in order to give her money. Polygon writes this elaborate article about misogyny and how she's being oppressed. And, they basically inject her with brand new Sims, people that didn't know about the controversy, that there was a moderator there, which got, I think he gave her like around $10,000 within the course of a time period. And when he found out that she has a boyfriend, he got upset and left. And apparently he was the problem, he was the bad guy. So, like you had these people with very awful personalities just abusing, and I don't even know if you should blame the abuser or the person allowing themselves to be abused in this situation. But like they were taking advantage of teenagers, lonely guys, that type of thing. Which, by the way, I don't think it should be illegal or whatnot. Again, like depends on the type of person you are. Like, who is to blame? The person conning or the person allowing themselves to get conned? It's like a parasitic relationship that's consensual in a way. Like, if you're the type of person that wants to give $10,000 to a woman that you see online and you're never going to have a chance with her, I don't know what to say. Like, why should I stop that from happening? Because that person is probably going to give his money away to some other person. It's not like you can protect people from their own stupidity, But like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, these ladies, they had rotten character. They would go on stream and say, oh, well, you need to donate money to me, because if you don't donate, it's like watching the content for free, and you're like piracy, and just watch It's a Gundam for more info. Like, he has documented this whole thing on his channel. But where am I going with this? Well, now you have the anime girls coming up, and they are taking the internet by storm. I mean, I'm looking at Project Melody, for example. She managed to get the #1 place on Chaturbate, and her videos on YouTube are quite famous, and she's taking a lot of these people from these e-girls. And the e-girl, the more she ages, the more difficult it is for her to compete, because most of these ladies, they do not have worthy personalities. They do not have something that they can offer and put at the table. Sorry, it's just some person bothering me right now. I was free the entire day, but like whenever I make a video, they know, they smell. It's like they smell fear. In my case, they smell the recording. So I'm not editing that. Low production value. But here's my point, right? These girls, they do not have the personality and the charisma in order to carry their channel. And most of the men, the Sims, as they grow older and they get stabler jobs and they get a girlfriend in real life, they're going to stop simping. So you need an influx of teenagers, you need an influx of new audience in order to keep your business model going. But when you see that all these teenagers and all of these guys, they go for these anime avatars that do not have cellulitis, they do not have saggy tits, that's a big issue. That's a big problem. So I think people like Britney, she led the charge, and there are other e-girls that were complaining, and they tried to lead with, oh, this is pedophilia, right? And what she did, because I watched her video, and if you go on her Twitter, you will see just how disgusting her tricks were. She took a picture that a fan made of Gar, and she purposefully censored the area where the genital organ was in order to appear that it was a pornographic picture. But people have actually tried to find the real picture, the real image, and uncensored, there is no nudity. Now you can make the argument and say, well, it's a little bit risque, you shouldn't do this to an anime character that looks underage, and it's like, well, if that's the case, why did she censor it to begin with? Why did she feel the need to censor it if the picture speaks for itself, right? So what this ends up happening is that these Twitch girls, these e-girls, they do not know that they're fucking with a company. They're not just messing around with some random content creators that have no backing on the internet. No, they're messing with HoloLive. HoloLive is a big corporation in Japan. All of these characters that they're putting up, this new generation of anime avatars, they make sure that the people they put up under their brand are talented, are very skilled at what they're doing, and their entire corporate brand is backing them. So when you call one of them a predator, when you call one of them a sexual molester or something like trying to, cater to little kids, there might be a lawsuit coming. You best think that you have all of the correct evidence before doing any of this shit, because you're hurting a big corporation, which I assume is a multi-million-dollar corporation. Okay, so now people are gonna get sued. Yeah, all of these people that think it's acceptable, like to treat the same way you would be treating some other twat on the internet, to try to bully other content creators because you have the Twitch terms of service support backing you up. Yeah, this might not fly now because apparently HoloLive has issued a statement regarding measures against the harassment of HoloLive production talents. So they noticed that some of the people like Gar are receiving death threats. Oh, isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? It's almost like taking the arguments that feminists made in order to censor the internet and just using the jutsu to return it on them. Like doing the counterattack, the reflect. Yesterday, in response to these incidents, and with the assistance of an attorney lawyer, we requested the IP addresses of posters of such content from relevant anonymous message boards. We intend to proceed with legal action. Furthermore, we have set up an online forum where viewers can directly report these threats to us. We wish to create a healthier environment for our content creators. When have I heard this type of speaking before? Oh yes, it was when the Egirls were getting protection from the Twitch Trust and Safety Council, or from the mainstream media, the gaming press. That's when I heard this type of phrasing before, and now it's used against the Egirls themselves. Cover is taking the following steps in response to the threats: filing police reports, filing reports on social media and anonymous message boards, requesting sender IP address on the aforementioned website, damage claims against the senders, submitting requests to internet service providers for contacting information with aforementioned IP addresses. Yeah, so because these girls, they insinuated that characters like Gar are predators, the simps have went insane. So their community started attacking these girls, these anime characters, but they didn't realize that they have the backing of a corporation, which is now going to use legal proceedings in order to sue their asses. And I wouldn't be shocked if I will see in the future some defamation lawsuits coming their way, because that would be really interesting. You know what's even more interesting is the projection. Because these girls, they know that the reason they have simps and the reason they get donations is because of their boobies, right? It's because they sexualize themselves in order to get attention. And again, like I want to point out, I don't have anything wrong with this. It's capitalism, baby. You do you. But they assume that people watch Gar, the shark lady, for the same reason. And I don't think that's the case. I don't see it. I mean, I watch any video you want from Gar, go to the messages from that video, go to the live chat, go to the content itself, and try to find anything remotely sexual, because I couldn't find it. You know why I think a lot of people watch these characters? A, because they're funny. B, because it's entertaining. C, because they're talented. And D, when I watch Gar, for instance, it's almost like you want to protect that person. It's so cute and adorable that you want to make sure that they're safe and no one messes with them, right? Like that's the vibe that I'm getting. That is what I get from other people watching that. I don't think it's man, like, no, seriously, I don't think it's sexual. Like, I would want to see some evidence before making that conclusion. Now, are there some messed in the head people that sexualize? Well, of course, it's the internet. There are rules that says if something exists, there will be porn of it. But like, the overwhelming, in fact, not even a minority, like that would be like an extreme fringe of people that do that. But like the overwhelming majority of people don't, from what I have seen. And again, like they are the product of a corporation that puts their brand and their logo on them. That if that would happen, the corporation would lose millions of dollars, and I don't think they want to do that. So no, the vetting process for these artists is quite strict. But anyway, right? Tomorrow I'll probably talk about China and Hololive, because there is a controversy regarding that. But regarding this, then I want to see some lawsuits flying. I want to see, I don't like harassment and bullying online. I want to see some simps getting arrested for issuing death threats to God. How can you issue a death threat to God? What is wrong with you? Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the comment section.